What's good, everybody? What's going on, man? It's Stephen Qualls II, aka Mr. Qualified. It's your boy, and we are back for another episode of the Wright Quality Podcast. Friends, co-hosts, please remind the people who you are.
I am Ashley Wright, the first. Gail.
That's me.
A day with Jordan Love or a day with Giannis?
Ooh.
After that last pass in the fourth quarter, give me Giannis.
That's tough. That's
soft talk.
Steve?
Yeah, I'm going to go Giannis. But I also think that's just naturally because I'm more of a basketball guy. But I am becoming a football guy this season for a multitude of reasons. Quick side note, Mizzou is having a really good season. So I'm becoming a football fan just because I'm surrounded by it more. But no, we got to get into NFL. We haven't been able to get into our takeaways from the beginning of the NFL season, but we are through 3 weeks. And yeah, there's a lot to discuss, but also there's a lot that we need not overreact to. But yeah, so in general, do we want to look at power rankings first, or do we want to just kind of get straight into our personal takeaways from the first 3 weeks?
Let's get personal.
Let's get personal.
Will we?
Crying. Okay, Gail, what's your personal takeaways from the first 3 weeks?
It's the first 3 weeks. Nothing matters.
I wouldn't say that.
Personally,
it doesn't matter.
I think everything is exactly how it should be. Everyone's equally mid and equally good. I think that the teams that were good last year, the teams that are good this year, the teams that are mid last year, the teams that are mid this year.
That's also not true, though.
I was thinking it.
For the most part. Like,
no one's equally mid. The Giants suck. The Eagles rigged.
Equally good and then equally ass. Did I forget that one too? Equally good, equally mid, and equally ass. The Giants are always ass.
All right.
And they are, and they always will be.
Okay.
And then what? The Eagles were good. They are going to continue to be good this year. What am I missing? The Packers fumbled a game, unlike similar to Derrick Henry again.
So the Ravens should be mid at this point still?
Yes.
Are we overreacting?
Yes, they are.
Miguel's trolling, but I think
Am I trolling?
I think he did.
I think you are. I don't think you are inherently trolling, but I think it is a natural troll to say it's week. Not that it's wrong, but to say it's week 3, to say that, teams are equally, good, mid, or ass is a troll, because it's also just lacking the depth of analysis. Like, it's the easy thing to say.
But the analysis is the analysis. I mean, like, there is no depth to it because we're in week 3. There is no depth to what we've seen.
I mean, it's a sample size. It's a small one, but it's a sample size.
Like, Dallas is still a mess. The Chiefs will be a mess until it's playoff time, and then the magic turns on. Miami is the only outlier of going from like good to like horrendous, or mid to horrendous.
Well, yes. What I'm also saying is every 1 and 2 and every 2 and 1 like is not the same.
This is fair, exactly. Record does not indicate who's mid or who's ass.
Like, but you're going off of just play of the team, regardless of how they got to their record.
Yeah, like, we were 2 and 1. We were good last year. We were good this year. It was a Browns loss and a dog pound. Woof woof. Tough to play in. And then also it's the week before we are going to have our most like emotionally charged game that we're definitely looking ahead. We already have Super Bowl talks. Like, as a Packers fan, I'm like, we've had this faith, and now it's like everyone that's talking, it's like, what? Please hop off the bandwagon with this Browns loss. If you are fair weathered, then God bless, you're gone. And now the real can prevail, and now we can have a fun season with a little more quiet. The Bears are the Bears. They beat Dallas. Congrats.
Technically, they should have beat Minnesota as well, but that's neither here nor there.
2 young QBs early. It was their first game.
Yeah.
Second game?
No, the first game. Their first game.
Yeah. It was just like, yeah, I think it's too early to really know who is who yet. But I think that like what I thought were the teams that were going to be standouts, the teams that are standouts, except for the Chargers. I think the Chargers took everyone off guard. I think we've been preparing to see this from Jay Herbo, but I think it just took time for them to get there. But I think like that. I think Miami and the Chargers are the two outliers from where people thought they were going to be to where they are now. But everyone else is just like, yep, that's them.
That's fair. I mean, and I get that. I get the outliers, and I get that through 3 games, like we said, like 1-2, 2-1, even if you're 3-0, even if you're 0-3, like if you're not a team that like we're just completely shocked, like the Chiefs being 1-2 mean nothing. Like it means nothing right now. You know what I'm saying? So I get that completely. I think as somebody who has been trying to watch more games to be able to truly get a sense of like, okay, what do teams look like through the 3 weeks based off of what was expected of them at the beginning of the season. I agree that the Chargers have been impressive, and I think they have shocked a lot of people. I think that division is going to be much better this year than it has been, because even the Broncos at 1-2, like the Broncos haven't been getting blown out. Like they've been losing games by field goals, like on game-winning drives by the opposing team. Another team, though, that has impressed and kind of in a similar notion to the Chargers, in the same way the Chargers are 3-0, kind of took people by surprise, and I can understand the Herbert talk now. I feel the same way about Baker and Tampa Bay. Not that I ever doubted Baker or thought that he wasn't worthy of like being ranked top 10 when we were reacting to that, but I've actually seen a couple of the Tampa Bay games, and so Baker's the real deal. Rookie wide receiver also tough as hell. But them being 3-0 as well definitely stands out. And I think Baker's play has just been standing out in general. But it's been nice to kind of get a look at some of these QBs and get a sense that they're somewhat separating themselves. But I also feel like, I don't know, I feel like in the way that we talked about Love, and Love has this like intense microscope on him, I don't think a lot of other quarterbacks have that microscope. Why Love specifically has the microscope that he does, I don't really know. I don't know if people just felt like he was overpaid, or I don't know if people just don't believe in him outside of Green Bay. Apparently the Green Bay fans also are completely overreacting, may I add. But I think that microscope maybe doesn't always play a role for the player, but I think the narrative is definitely affected by how they're putting certain players under a microscope versus other players who they don't.
Just to respond to that real quick, it's because he's the next in line of a lineage of great QBs in Green Bay. And I think that like that's what's going to come with like, are you Aaron Rodgers? It happened to Aaron Rodgers the first like 2 years too. I remember everyone was talking like, oh, like he can't replace Brett XYZ. And I'm like, shut up. Like, but literally like second to third year, I'm just like, until he got that ring, I think people were kind of quiet, or MVP, I guess.
Well, I don't know, Gail, because Rodgers was definitively better when he took over the reins than Love was when he took over the reins. Like by the time Rodgers took over, like when Brett left, we were all fine because we knew Rodgers was like that.
Still questioning it though. Like there were still like loyalists. Like every last QB that leaves Green Bay is going to have loyalists of like, he isn't Brett Favre and he's not going to be. And then now it's like, well, he isn't Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers was the GOAT because Aaron Rodgers was the GOAT. And it's like, until we
transitions are different though. I do think the transitions are a little bit different. I think Brett to Rodgers was more of loyalist to Brett, where because Rodgers was so far up, like there was never a like, to me there, I don't think Jordan Love will never compare to Aaron Rodgers to me. Like unless he just starts reeling off Super Bowls, like I just don't see it. And even then, like I just don't think he has the skill set that Aaron Rodgers, did have and has as a quarterback. So within the Green Bay fandom, I think those transitions are a little bit different. But I do agree that within that lineage, that's the microscope ultimately that he's being looked at under.
I think it's a tad worse for Jordan because of how he was ushered into the starting spot. basically like Green Bay fans are, who is this kid? And he's replacing Aaron, like the Aaron. So I think Green Bay fans were willing to go through kind of the struggle with Aaron Rodgers rather than seeing him legit forced out. First, you draft the kid, then he sits behind Aaron, and now he's taking Aaron's spot. Well, what's so special about this Jordan Love kid? It really put him under a microscope.
Yeah. And he's got the best wide receiver core that he's had, that the Packers have had in a while. That's where I think it all culminates. And now we got Micah Parsons. So now it's like the eye is extra bright. Sure. Especially having a game how he did against the Browns. Like, people are going to look at it and be like, what was that pass? Like, what are we doing? And it's just like, I'd rather him make this young mistake now than when we are in a moment where it's like, now he's played perfect all year and then he crumbles come playoffs. It's like, let's make these mistakes now. Let's learn from what the defense they're giving us, what coverage we're going to see, get all the experience that we need so that the playoff push is as easy as possible. I don't like, it's week 3. So, like, shut up. Not you guys. But, like,
the fans for sure. I had to get out the rabbit hole yesterday because all the overreactions, and like, I watched the entire game. So I'm like, this was literally a meltdown in the last 5-6 minutes of the game. But but before we even get into overreactions, that's a great defense. Like, this is a defense that stopped Joe Burrow, that stopped Derrick Henry. So, like, they've been stopping offenses, for the first 2 weeks. So us struggling was not necessarily the surprise in their house. But we were in position and had no business losing that game. That's all
game. It's like we would get to a point, we'd stall out right before field goal range. Yeah. And then, like, last drive when it's like we just needed to keep it, he just threw it in triple coverage. Dumb mistake. But it's like, but
it happens. And I think people treat it like a lot of people say, like, when Love plays great, like, it's hush. Like, it's just like, oh, well, that's just because receivers are great or XYZ.
And he throws his game too.
He did. Jordan Love is a good quarterback. Now, I do have a question I want to circle back to, but I want to make sure we touch on the rest of the league. I do specifically have to ask this question to Ashley because we've done our Packers talk, so we got to let Ashley get her talk off about her team. Now, before we get in to Russ and Russ being benched, which you can touch on if you would like, but your boy in Indy over there 3-0. How you feel? You know what I'm saying? How you feel?
I mean, it's obvious the Giants were the issue. Look at Saquon. He won a Super Bowl. Look at Daniel. He looks like Aaron Rodgers. Like, come on now. It's the organization. Sell the team and get some talent in the front office.
Is James Dolan the owner of the Giants too?
You would think, but no. John Mara and the Tisch family.
Are you excited about Dart getting the opportunity, getting a start?
No, because I don't want them to ruin his career. Like, I don't want this to be a Justin Fields in Chicago type of thing. Or that bad? Yes. I think it's that bad. I honestly, last game too. Let me say it like this. It can't be an O-line thing all the time, right? And last game, Russ did make some questionable decisions. But
egregious.
Egregious. Yeah. And then in overtime against Dallas, that final throw that was a pick, he underthrew it so bad. Like, come on now. So I just don't want it to be a thing where Jackson Dart gets in there and we're still pointing fingers at the O-line or this and that. No, like, come on now. Like, we need better coaching. And I love Dayball. I really do. He was a coach of the year at one point. But the way that Mike Kafka, the OC, and Shane Bowen, the DC, have been using the pieces that are on both sides of the ball is disgusting. You can't tell me if you don't put one of the Harbaugh brothers on the sideline, these are totally different team. This is a totally different team. You can't. You can't. We've got an all-pro on the offensive line. We've got an all-pro on the defensive line. Brian Burns had 3 sacks in the first 3 like, come on now. Come on. Like, the excuses are just mounting. And at a certain point, you've got to look at the sideline.
Very real. No, I mean, I definitely understand the frustration. I mean, I feel like the Giants should at least be 1-2. They definitely should be. Dallas should be 0-3. But I digress. As far as conferences, I'm not sure if there were any other specific teams or players that y'all want to touch on. But as far as conferences, does the NFC still definitively run through Philly? Just naturally because they're the reigning champs.
It has to. Yeah, it has to.
Does it feel like in the early sample size they will run away with the NFC?
No.
I don't think it'll be
holes in their games. I think that I do feel like they turned it up a notch against the Rams, but you catch the wrong team on the wrong day. We saw this with the Lions yesterday. The Lions, I don't think, would have had the same fate that the Rams did. So I think Philly needs to clean that up now. Because when it comes to the playoffs and, the Lions have a bad taste in their mouth, I don't think Philly wants to be playing that start off slow game.
I think that 4 in the NFC is going to be like Bucks, Packers, Philly, Lions. I think that'll be like that last 4 left in the NFC.
No, you think those will be the last 4 teams left?
Yeah.
Giving up on the Commanders?
I don't say giving up. I just think that, like, matchup wise, when it gets to that point late, I think them and the Rams will be the odd man out.
Interesting. Fair enough. Yeah, the playoff picture is so hard to tell how it will start to take shape because obviously it's early. But I think seeing a lot of teams get through October, seeing a lot of teams kind of get to like that Thanksgiving period, I think that'll be a really good indicator of kind of like, all right, like who's, of course, really in the hunt, in the fight, XYZ. But I can't say I disagree with those teams kind of being right there. I do think it'll be us. I still don't know how good Minnesota will be. I'm not sure what to make of McCarthy's injury, and I think playing a depleted Bengals team isn't a good example of what that team will look like. But I will say Lions look damn good against the Ravens, and very characteristic to see Derrick Henry fumble again, and that essentially kind of cost the game. So I'm not sure what's going on in Baltimore. I'm not hitting the panic button, but like as we talk about the AFC, I'm curious. We see the Ravens start 1-2. We see the Chiefs start 1-2. Bills have gotten off to a great start, but they do this a lot in the regular season, so I'm being cautious with that. You see a team like the Chargers start 3-0. Mm-hmm. Is the AFC now officially maybe like up for grabs for the first time in a while? And you all?
I think so. It's a lot of talent in the AFC. I still think the NFC is slightly tougher, but yeah, I think the
AFC or deeper.
Tougher.
I think the NFC is more up for grabs than the AFC still.
Oh,
think so?
You just named the final 4 teams, and it's pretty much been those final 4 teams for the past 4 years.
But I think up for grabs more in the sense that like when those 4 teams face, I don't know who will come out until I see the black magic wear out on the Mahomes clan and on the Kelsey clan. We got to be careful with that Kelsey one. I need. It's like the inverse of what I think of the Cavs.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see something else happen in an NFL season. And until then, the Chiefs are making it out of the AFC. I don't know how. I don't know why, but they're gonna somehow. It's Taylor Swift. It's Taylor Kelsey. The Kendrick Lamar outro. That's all I feel in my mind. I cannot go another season and see that red and white on the other side of whoever they're facing in the championship. It's killing my soul. It's killing my soul to see Jackson Mahomes do more TikToks in early February. I need to see something else. I don't know. That's why more wide open in the NFC to me.
So more wide open.
Sure enough, they're in the championship.
Well, I don't know. I feel like, again, it's early, but I think when you look at a lot of teams, like, obviously you're going to look at the Bills and be like, we all know who the Bills' kryptonite is, right? Like, we all know who the Bills have to beat before anybody really takes them serious in postseason talk, right? And I'm with you. Like, we've seen it happen so many years where, things look shaky for the Chiefs, but they still get there. It's early, but I just feel like this will be the year where it's like the Chiefs have to worry about their division maybe for the first time, in a while. Like, being able to win that division is not a guarantee. And it's not saying anything bad about the Chiefs. I think when you just look at the improvement in the Chargers, when you look at the Broncos trending upward, like, it's just something they have to be a little bit more mindful of than maybe the coasting that they've been doing in seasons past. I think it'll be interesting to see if a team can take advantage of it, but I can't inherently disagree with you. So I feel that. I do think the NFC has more teams who you can, like, throw their name in the hat to come out. But I think ultimately, especially with Burrow out now, Chiefs, Ravens, Bills, those are the only teams in the AFC that you really
yeah.
Well, maybe, but you can start 3-0. I mean, you can start 3-0 and not be there, at the end.
What Xavier McKinney say? A lot of teams start 2-0 and then ain't worth nothing at the end of the season.
Yeah. But we'll wrap up this kind of a 3-week update with seeing how we feel about where the power rankings currently stand. Got the Eagles at 1. It makes sense. Get it, can't argue with it. Interesting enough, Drew Brees said that he thinks their offense is boring. Even if you agree with that statement, you can't get upset with winning. You can't get upset with the formula that works. So it is what it is. Bills at 2. Right there. Yep. That makes sense. I feel like they could really be interchangeable with the Eagles on a given night, at least from how they played the first 3 weeks.
Chargers 3 now or what?
Huh? Yeah, Bills are 3 now.
No, I'm saying, are the Chargers 3 now? I'm just trying to guess who's on that.
No, Lions are 3. Makes sense.
Okay.
Chargers are 4. Packers still 5. Or Packers 5, not still, but from 3 with the loss makes sense. But again, like you said, trap game. It's a big overreaction. We'll be fine. Tampa Bay at 6 makes sense with the way they've been playing and some of the wins they've had. Baltimore drops to 7. Track makes sense. Rams at 8. I think tracks, given the loss and the way it happened, it probably would have looked a little bit different, or they probably would have stayed at 6 if they won. But happens with a loss. Chiefs at 9. I guess. No, it's not worth arguing, but they still also dropped even with the win. So something to consider there. Commanders at 10. They also dropped 1. Niners at 11. Colts at 12. They had a 4 point jump. Vikings at 13. They have a 7-point jump. And this is probably the only one I disagree with.
Probably has more to do with the score. And then their defensive outing that game was nice.
I mean, it was a great defense.
Wait, which team is this?
Huh?
Which team is that?
Vikings.
I think I can guess who's last.
Shut your face.
I'm crying.
Right? Right?
Seahawks are 14. Broncos are 15. Cardinals are 16. Steelers are 17. Aaron Rodgers is still playing some really good football. Just want to throw
Shouts out Ayahuasca man.
Crying. Jaguars at 18. We haven't talked about Travis Hunter a lot. The two-way thing doesn't seem to be working in his best interest at the moment. It's early, but I do think he'll ultimately end up being on one side of the ball, and it's likely to be offense.
You think so?
I mean, maybe it's defense. What side of the ball is going to be? I don't know.
I think offense, but
that's what I think. But
I'm trying to think who else would be that last spot.
Oh my goodness. Falcons at 19, Bengals at 20, Texans at 21, Raiders at 22, Bears at 23, Cowboys at 24, Patriots at 25, Browns at 26, Panthers at 27, Jets at 28, Dolphins at 29, and the New York Football Giants.
There it is.
That's not last. There's 30 teams in the NBA. Let's go.
They're not last. The Titans are last at 31.
The Titans?
No, the Saints are last at 32. My apologies.
So they don't read New York Giants to me.
And honestly, the Saints and the Titans, crazy enough, have been worse than the Giants. So the Giants, I mean, Russ did have a career day. So like for being 0-3, like they haven't looked terrible as much as like Russ had.
They lost on a career day.
They did.
Because think about it though. We were 1-8 last season in one possession games. 1-8 in one possession game. So we're not as bad as it might seem on paper. At least the games are competitive.
Coming back to start. I'm interested.
What'd you say?
Where that ranking goes next week.
Yeah, we'll see. They play the Chargers, so.
Ooh. Maybe Dart has a good outing though. Maybe Dart has.
Who do the Saints have? Hold on, let me see. Saints. Saints got. Hold on, I am not a robot. Shouts out my VPN.
Crying.
Shouts out who gave me the VPN. You know who you are.
Saints have
Buffalo Bills, so not looking good for the Saints either. Actually, win though. And then it was Titans.
Yeah.
Titans were one drop away from getting a win too. Texans, oh man, might be bad next week. Could be seeing 31. On that note,
you taking the Titans over the Texans? They got a shot.
Both bad.
They got a shot. Well, that's a shot. We will be back with more NFL updates soon. Obviously, it's early, so once we get into week 4, 5, 6, might be a little bit more to talk about. But let us know your thoughts on the first 3 weeks. Do you agree with our takes or not? I don't know what Miguel is doing, but we're going to get out of here.
Run it up. Week 4, Cowboys coming home, baby. We're coming home.
We'll catch y'all on the next episode of the Right Quality Podcast.
Pick it up.
Till next time.
Book it.
Peace.
Book it. Book it right now. Book it right now. Calling it.